Pretty much. Steve Rinaldi, obviously. I just got this inspiration to jump on here and like two different things I wanted to talk about, one of which I don't know if I'm going to talk about. But what I definitely am going to talk about is about forgiveness. I've been meaning to make this video for like a week or so, you know, and it's like to err is human, to forgive is divine. At least that's what I was told. And, you know, if we should ever, I don't really like to hope, because hope would indicate that there's a possibility it doesn't go right. I come from a different place now. I believe in that. I expect and I pray. That's what I do. I don't hope. I'm not saying hope is a bad thing, you know, because there was a time in my life where all I had was hope. And at that point in my journey, had I not had hope, I don't even know if I'm capable of dying, to be honest with you. But like, I know I'm capable of it. But at that point, it seemed like, despite my best efforts, they weren't taking me, you know. So I got more lives than a cat. That's a fact. So back to the forgiveness, though. Okay. So, like, if we were ever to expect to be forgiven from anybody people care about, you know, whatever the situation, then who the fuck are we to not forgive somebody else? You know? I first encountered this concept in about 2015. I went into treatment. I was getting sober from heroin, and it was a very tumultuous time in my life, if I use that word correctly. I don't know if I used it correctly because I'm not as smart as it probably seems sometimes, and probably just as dumb as it seems other times. So, but like, you know, so I'm getting sober and from heroin and whatever else I was doing. Sure, whatever was in arm's reach, you know, that's how I did. But how I did, past tense for sure. So it's like, you know, I went into rehab. I had this crazy resentment, and I'm not going to get too into the details of the story because I don't want anybody to feel any certain kind of way. But I had this crazy resentment against somebody I cared a lot about, and you know, it was keeping me sick. You know, it was keeping me really, really sick. Buddha says that, and I think I've quoted this before, but Buddha says that holding on to resentment is like drinking poison, expecting the other person to die. They're not going to. You're the one who will suffer. Okay, and I know this because I suffered. And I'm starting to think that I'm suffering now and not realizing it, which is weird. Something's happened to me in the last 10 months, and I've gone through a transformation. And what used to manifest as like depression and anxiety, at least the physical symptoms I used to feel from them, are no longer present. But I do believe that I still have moments of anxiousness, and I have moments where I get depressed. And because I'm like in this different place, it's not as obvious, I guess, you know, but like the last 3-4 days, like, you know I'll be putting out a lot of positivity stuff and tell you about being authentic and keeping it real. You know, I'm gonna keep it real right now. Like, I've been fucked up, you know, and not like fucked up, like in, I don't know, some crazy way, just like off, you know, not really truly kind of happy, maybe, just like more somber, which is really not, if you know me on a personal level or watch any of my videos, somber isn't really a word that properly describes me. So when I'm feeling like that, I have to look at it and be like, damn, dude, like, you're probably depressed, you know. So I dove into some shadow work, you know, which is basically just like a 4th step on steroids for those of us that are watching, maybe that are in the program or in a program that chooses to remain anonymous. They'll identify with the 4th step. For those of you who are not and are not familiar with that, a 4-step in shadow work is kind of like an inventory of sorts. I think that's exactly what it is, actually. But like, it's a way to hold yourself accountable in situations, a way to examine a situation that's like caused you pain and created resentment. And it's a way to be able to look at it and say, well, where did my actions put this in place? Which is a hard thing for a lot of us to get to. I know at the beginning, I was like, motherfuckers did me dirty, dog. But no, they didn't. Like, I did me dirty. So I think that's a good segue into when it comes to forgiveness and we're trying to forgive others. The number one thing that I believe we got to do is forgive ourselves. Okay? Forgive ourselves, because I believe in the mirrored reality concept, because I see it all around me. And basically, like, what that concept dictates is that our external world mirrors back to us what we have going on internally. So I've mentioned this before. So like, I'll use myself as an example. So when there's somebody watching my videos and they're like, this motherfucker, I can't stand this dude, he drives me nuts, and this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 blah. He's out there. That's a fact. So when that person is feeling like that, well, it's because I'm mirroring back to him something that he doesn't want to look at about himself. Okay, whether it's something I have that he wants, freedom, peace, whatever he it's his perception. So it could be, who knows how he perceives me. It's not for me to say or speculate. I could run around in circle for days doing that. I'm not going to do it. But there's something inside of me that he sees that's pissing him off because he doesn't have it, or he does have it. One or the other, So I kind of got on a tangent there. I was talking about mirror reality concept, about forgiveness, right? So, man, it's like in all these situations, then when we got beef with people, whatever the case may be, it's like if we're not going to examine our part in it, it's going to be a tough road. It's going to be a tough road to find peace in that situation. We could say all we want, well, fuck it, I don't care, I'm over it. You know how many times I said that in the last 10 months? Whew. Tell you what, it still runs through my mind. So I've been working on it now with pen and paper and the guidance, and I've gotten to a place of being better with it, for sure. But this shit will not just go away on its own. People say time heals all wounds. I gotta adamantly disagree to that shit. Okay, because if you've been traumatized by a situation and you're not getting to the core root of it, and you think time is just going to make it go away, no, time will dull it and bury it. But if you don't address it and you don't examine it and look at the silver lining in that situation, in that traumatic experience, and identify the paradox within there, you're never going to be healed from it. And you're always going to be triggered from it. All right. Now, I'm not a professional. I don't have a college degree, but I've studied this shit pretty extensively the last 10, 11 months here. And I'm very, very determined to heal myself. And who knows, maybe help somebody else, that would be amazing. If anybody takes anything that I say and uses it to help themselves, like, blessed, and it would be my pleasure to be able to pass that along. But whatever, it's not the main purpose. I'm just trying to heal myself, really, because I'm sick and tired of building up these awesome situations, these awesome relationships, women, like beautiful, awesome, smart, compassionate women, my whole life, and I push them away. Why? I'm like, I'm a self-branded hopeless romantic. I am, If it's up to me, I'd shack up with one girl for the rest of my life. These other girls just jump off a cliff, with love, of course. But like, I'm just not interested, And it's funny because, and I'm going to close it up after this. I don't want it to be too long, but it's like after this last breakup that I went through, right? Steve Rinaldi did something he never did before. I spent time alone. I didn't just grab the next hostage, pull them into my energetic sphere without dealing with the issues that I had. Because when we do that, when we jump from one relationship to the next relationship to the next relationship, especially if we're engaging in victimization, oh, this motherfucker did this motherfucker did that, blah, 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 blah. Well, what did you do? Nothing. You're just pure as the driven snow, as the undriven snow, or whatever my quote is. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was me. I did that shit for years. For years. I didn't take girlfriends. I took hostages, emotional hostages. All prim and proper and buffed up on the front end, fucking mess on the inside. And then they would have to deal with that shit. And that's not fair. And then the same problems would crop up. And what? So we just think that all these other people are fucking nuts and we're fine? Or is there something more to it than that? Like, I can't help but look at, I'm going to use an example as, I don't want to use that example. Let me look at a situation here with people that are naturally empathic. Okay, they exhibit these really exorbitant, a lot of fucking empathy. Okay, so I told you, not that smart. So they tend to attract people with narcissistic tendencies. Well, why is that exactly? I can't tell you for sure. I'm sure we could dig it up on the internet. I guess the narcissist needs fuel. The empath has an exorbitant amount of it, and that's why that's what that exchange is about. Maybe that's a bad example. I'm gonna use this example. All right. Anybody that attracts abusive relationships over and over and over, and I'm talking, it could be a female, it could be a man. I'm not going to get into that. It could be either or. All right. There's a reason you're attracting the same type of person, and it's all energy. Okay. It's energy and unprocessed trauma. Okay. You keep attracting that because you're not fixing your insides. You're not diving in and sitting in the uncomfortable. Listen, it's painful. I understand. I do. Believe me, the last 11 months have been real over here. Okay. Real. And, but it needed to happen. I had to sit with myself and get to it, because otherwise I was just going to continue this cycle of broken relationships and broken women, leaving these broken women in my wake, that, like, good women, amazing human beings, and then I have some sort of like guilt about that, where it's like, damn, I just feel like I am responsible, because I didn't put the work in years ago like I probably should have, and then when these people came into my world, thought I was good. You don't know. You can't see the forest from the trees, you know what I'm saying? And I was fucked up in the game, dude, but I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I've done enough of that over the years. So it's okay to glance in the rear view, but don't stare, because you'll crash. So, yeah, man, I don't know. Forgiving ourselves is a vitally important piece, okay? Truly, truly forgiving yourself, all right? And then, I mean, I would strongly, strongly suggest that you forgive others, but that's on you. You want to carry that shit? Go for it. See how well that works out for you. It eats at you, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. Our subconscious and our spirit, they be doing funky shit behind the scenes, So it's like, why not release it? Why not let go of it? That's what I'm doing. And honestly, there's a lot of peace in that. it gets deeper and more complicated as the deeper and further you go, for sure. And I don't think this healing process is one that ever ends. I believe it's definitely ongoing. Fuck, man. I'm gonna tell you, like, today, the fact that I could sit down for 10 minutes and not think anything if I choose to is amazing. Amazing, because my brain was just spinning like all the time. You know, it's really nice to not have that going on anymore and not need any kind of mood altering substance to turn it off. You know, like a Band-Aid on a fucking bullet wound. What's going to work for 20 minutes? Then what? More. Yeah. Well, let me know how that one works out too. Actually, please don't. Go to rehab. Go to fucking rehab. Now. Make the call. Now. Guess somebody needed to hear that. But I love you guys very much, man. And I don't know, man. I was feeling fucked up. And again, I thought it would be disingenuous for me to not share, like, when I'm having a bad day. You know, when I'm not, like, whistling Dixie, fucking dancing up Main Street like a fucking Looney Tune. You know, like, fuck, I enjoy it. You know? And we vibing, dog. We vibing, you know? Got Lana Del Rey on in the background. You don't know it yet, but it's about to be Lana Del Rinaldi. Girl's so beautiful. All right, so if you watched, and I appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much. And forgive yourself. And forgive others. It's only hurting you. And I guarantee you at some point or another, you probably did some shit that you would want to be forgiven for. So, wouldn't be fair if everybody just had to forgive you and you don't forgive anybody else. I lived like that for many years and it didn't serve me well. So, I have at least two, probably a lot more, but two people I have to forgive, maybe three. And it's just tough because it's like, it's just tough. But I'm going to do better. So, fuck it. I love you guys very much, man. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening.